could produce bloodshed. Why would they do that? There's a bigger plot here, Ja, and this is what I want you and 50 and our hip-hop brothers and sisters to see, that they feel very threatened by this. Mm-hmm. Do you know who the soldiers are that are dying in Iraq every day? The soldiers in all the armies of the world?
Kids.
They're young people.
Kids.
See? Now, when I looked at that movie called Beef, and I saw these young brothers, I mean, what I saw was the strength of a whole new world order coming up. But it's a world order that needs to be raised from the level that we're thinking on to another level entirely. Right. And what the enemy sees is the potential power that you and 50 and others have, and they want to stop it. Now, when I talked with Irv Gotti last week, I think, or 10 days or so ago, the question was asked, Irv, who owns your masters? You know, well, Irv said, we don't own them. I don't know who owns 50's masters. So if, say, tomorrow, Ja got shot down, how will Mom benefit? All the stuff that you have done, all the stuff that you have in the can, it'll come out, it'll sell, but somebody will be making money off of your untimely death. And the fact that somebody shot 50, we don't know who that is, but they did not want 50 to live. To shoot a man 9 times, and he survived that, then there's a God that is the power of life and death that said it ain't time for 50. So when I heard him on Beef say, look, God controlled this. And then he said he must have a purpose for me. Now, have you heard about the beef? And I'm going to use the word beef because everybody listening will know. But the beef between Malcolm X and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the beef that split the nation, that was real. Malcolm grew up a beautiful, brilliant young man, but he wanted to be a lawyer. And when he was in the 8th grade, they told Malcolm, if you became a lawyer, your own black people wouldn't hire you because they don't trust you, and my people certainly wouldn't, but you'd make a great carpenter. Now this is Malcolm growing up in Lansing, Michigan. I grew up in Boston, Massachusetts, Roxbury. When I was 10 years old, I played the violin. My teacher said, Lewis, what do you want to be when you grow up? I said, I'd like to be a doctor. I want to heal people. She said, oh, Lewis, white people would never bring their sickness to you, and your own people wouldn't trust you as a doctor, but you play the violin beautifully. A carpenter and a violinist. A carpenter can't threaten white rule unless the carpenter is Joseph and he's going to produce Jesus.
Right.
A violinist can't threaten white supremacy. He just play the violin. Now, you more than just a carpenter or a violinist, you're threatening something. When you threaten a culture of white supremacy and you threaten to take the children away from those who have shaped them to be oppressive. Man, that means there's danger here.
And they know it.
Yes, they know it.
Because I'm going to bring up an interesting point right now. My new record, Clap Back, I service it to MTV, BET. They're both owned by Viacom. But BET is allowed to play the video. But MTV is not. And reason being is because Ja, you're a big superstar artist, you can't tell the kids to clap back. But I can tell the black kids to clap back.
That's the point. See, now look at this, brother. When I heard your new song, Clap Back, well, I saw you working out. I saw you with war on your chest. I saw you saying, we're gonna clap back. What does that mean? That means if you strike
Strike back.
we're gonna strike back. So in the black culture, Ja, we're living now with an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, and a life for a life. That's all right for us, because we know how to put each other's eyes out. We know how to mess each other up. So y'all keep clapping back. And soon, when we nobody left to clap back, but you can't tell that to white people, because we don't want our children to hear that. You all do that. But there's a positive side to that too. Because, Ja, there comes a time in every man's life when he's forced by circumstances to clap back.
That's right.
See? And as a people, we've suffered so much from those who have oppressed us, and our people have told us, don't clap back. We gotta not do that. We gotta love the enemy. We gotta pray for the enemy. See? And we've practiced that for them, but we've never practiced
For
that
ourselves.
for one another. See? Martin Luther King, may God rest him and be pleased with him, he said that he loved the oppressor, and he wanted to be nonviolent with the oppressor, and a whole nonviolent movement grew up around Dr. King. That kind of teaching has never been preached in the hood, because we're not nonviolent with each other.
That's right.
We're not going to turn the other cheek
That's right.
to one another. We don't know how to do that. What we do know how to do, clap back. But look, John, can I see the cross, please?
Sure.
Now look at this beautiful cross. Man, and I know there's plenty of diamonds in that, and they're not fake. I hope y'all got this. This is real. But this cross has deep meaning. And what I saw in the beef last night, Ja had a cross, and 50 had one too. But this cross had meaning. Look at this. This thing here represents the vertical. This represents horizontal. That's the dual nature of the human being. Right. There's a part of us that can grow in uprightness. And there's a part of us that's like the animal that is on the horizontal level. So when you come to birth in life, you come to birth on a horizontal level. The point I'm making, Ja, is that the dual nature of the human being is part of what the cross represents, but it also represents the suffering and the pain of Jesus to redeem that which had fallen and that which was lost. Right. All we've been talking about is our pain growing up in the hood. Right. That's like a cross. Jesus said, look, if any man would be my disciple, he got to deny himself, pick up his cross, and follow me. This is the master talking. Now, if I recognize you as a young God, created in the image and the likeness of God, but we are fashioned and formed by somebody that don't do what God says we should do. Right. So on the surface, I'm more like the world. I'm more born in sin and shaped in iniquity. Right. So what comes out of my mouth is the world, the madness that is called living from a carnal mind. Right. That's why somebody would want to rob you if they didn't have this. Well, what is this? This is something beautiful. It shows that you have achieved enough money that you could buy something beautiful like that. And a man that don't have that, he put a gun to your head and say, well, I'll take that. But that's because he puts more value on that than he puts on the man that's wearing it. You are more valuable than anything in creation. We go to church and they say, shh, be quiet. And some of the lyrics that I hear on the rap, if you said that in church, they'd say, oh, this is a terrible dude cussing like that in church. But there ain't no church, no mosque, no temple, no cathedral that's more valuable than Ja Rule and 50 Cent. Because every church is the handiwork of man. But you are the handiwork of a mighty creator. So if I can't curse in church or be sacrilegious in church, when I see you, I know who I'm looking at, Ja. So when I met you, I don't care nothing about, I care about the beef, but the beef does not bother me in how I relate to you, right. Because when I see you, I'm looking at somebody created in the image and likeness of the Creator. And if I'm blessed to see 50, I talked with him maybe just before we started, early this morning. He was doing a radio show in New York, and I told him that I would like to see him because I really want to see him fulfill the higher purpose for which I believe he's created. Now, if you said something negative about me, Ja, I would never respond. Because if I respond to that which is negative, I increase negativity. So that's why Jesus said, look, bless them that curse you. Why is that, Jesus? Because I could curse them, because the law of justice say if that's what they put out, that's what they should get back. But I'm trying to bring up out of a human being the God that's buried in him. So if I hit him with what he hit me with, I'm only making evil stronger. But if I say, oh no, brother, I'm not going to curse you. May God bless you. Whoa. The man said, what's wrong with this? You know what I mean? I cursed him. And now this cat gonna say, may God bless me? He'd go home and think about that. Like we used to go taking our papers and knock on doors in the project. And the brother come to the door, look, so-and-so, get your so-and-so out of here. You don't get that damn paper. You don't. And the brother said, gee, thank you so much for coming to the door. I'm sorry we disturbed you. I hope you have a blessed day. And turn around and walk away. By the time he get down the stairs, Man, hey, come on back here. Oh, I mean, I had a bad day. Well, give me the damn paper.
Right.
You can affect change in people by the way you handle the difficulties that come with who you are.
Minister,
Yes, sir.
I gave that a shot too.
Yeah.
Like I went, like when I first heard the records about me and with 50 with the record, I said, you know what? I'm not, come on, I'm bigger than that. And I ain't even thinking about that. And let's continue this way, what we're doing as black men. But then the public started to give me ridicule because I guess they were feeling like, since you're not saying anything, you're scared. You understand what I'm saying? Like that was the overall premises. Like, oh, if he don't say nothing back, then he must be scared of that nigga 50 then. I don't care about it. You understand?
Yeah. You
and
know
that's what makes you.
But they were giving you, an opportunity to teach. See, you're more than just a rapper. Do you realize, John, that the children that go to school, they ain't learning their lessons. But whatever you say, whatever 50 said, whatever Jay-Z says, or Cube, or any of the rappers, they got that down. They memorized that. So you are more than a hip-hop artist. You become a teacher through your rap.
Right.
So when the public starts calling for a fight, because that's the way we grew up. Oh, you see, he dissed you, man. You ain't gonna say nothing? You a punk. See, when they come like that, how do you respond? See, now, I can tell you this, John, because I lived it.
Right.
I'm going back to this beef between Brother Malcolm and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Malcolm was my teacher. He was my mentor. Elijah Muhammad, my leader. But when the split came, it's like two of the most important men of my life now at odds. I have to decide who I'm going to be with. I chose to be with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So that put me now at odds with my own mentor, Malcolm. Now, what I did in defending the teacher, I helped to create an atmosphere in which, Brother Malcolm now, somebody comes up and blows Brother Malcolm down. That's a horrible experience for me to live as a Muslim. Even though that's 35 years ago, it produced a wound in the nation that has not healed even up to this moment. Even though Betty Shabazz, Brother Malcolm's wife and widow, we have had dialogue before she passed, and Attila Shabazz, but still there's a wound there that a balm needs to be put on that wound. When I had a serious difference with the son of Elijah Muhammad, Imam Warithuddin Muhammad. Now we're two spiritual men, but we disagree. Now, that could be volatile, and some of the craziest people in the world are religious people when they have differences. As you can see in Israel today, the Palestinians and the Jews and the Christians, the Protestants, the Catholics, the Muslims, all of this religious madness has caused human beings to just slaughter one another. So I learned from that. So when I had a difference with the imam, I made it clear I was not going into public to talk about my brother, even though I felt that I had some justification. They were talking about me. But if I responded in kind, then two communities would have been at odds, and we would have probably slaughtered each other. Today, Imam Muhammad and I can sit and talk, and all during the time of our disagreement, not one bloody nose between his followers and mine. hip-hop is being threatened today, the future of it. And I don't want to see you lose your life, or 50 lose his life, or any of the rappers lose their life. I think we've paid a price now to go to a higher level. The clamor of the public. You know, whenever we fought in school, none of our people ever tried to stop the fight.
Right.
They all put us in a circle, and they wanted to see who was going to win.
Right.
From childhood now, this is playing out in hip-hop, in gang warfare, in turf conflict. Tell me, Ja, how do you view the public clamor if you don't clap back? What do you feel from the public right now?
They're not going to respect me. If I don't, like, because, you know, we already went through this. Like, I'm a dude, like, you know, whatever. You're over there doing it because I don't, all the things he's saying is just talk. You know, it's sticks and stones. You know, they don't break my bones. That old cliche. But when the public gets involved and they're saying, well, Ja, if you ain't saying nothing, then you must be scared, or 50 got you shook, or whatever. Then it's like, are y'all serious? Okay, then let me go and do what I do so y'all understand. Because it's easy for me to make clapbacks and those kind of records. Like, it's nothing for me to lyrically assault 50. It's easy. But the public makes it so that we have to keep assaulting each other. And they're not giving us a room to say, well, you know, I'm not thinking about him and I'm not thinking about him. They're not giving us that space.
Okay. Now, Ja, because the public is almost demanding from you a response to what you say 50 has said.
Oh, before I say that, I just want to say there were other reasons why I didn't respond earlier as well, because I wanted to respond. Like, I couldn't speak on it because 50 had a order of protection, a statement against Murder Inc., whereas Ja, you say anything, my lawyers would say, Ja, you say anything about 50 or the incidents or anything like that, because that's my ammunition. And with my lawyers saying, you can't talk about that, Ja, it's going to reopen the case, they're going to be able to sue you for more money. Are you serious? It's like him standing behind the police going, nah, 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 you can't get me, but I'm going to say everything I want about you, and then I'm over here hiding behind these guys, and you can't say anything. And that's what really triggered the public's eye of, why is Ja not saying anything? So by the time that I got a chance to say, once the lawsuit was over and I paid them their money that they sued me for.
Who's they?
50 and a few of his associates, they got hurt at the Hit Factory incident.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So once the money was paid and that was done and the lawsuit was over, now I can talk. I can say, okay, yeah, I clobbered you with a crutch. And then Black Child can get on the beef tape and say, yeah, I stabbed you. It's over now. You sued us, it's over now. But the public doesn't understand that. So all they see is 50's side of the story and what he's saying, and Ja's not answering. Ja must be puss. And that really started to
work
really,
on you.
work on my nut, because I know who I am inside. I know who I am. I'm a real nigga, so I don't have to say I'm a real nigga 24/7. You understand? You approach me, you find out I'm a real person. You understand? So that whole aspect of it started to kill me. And then I said, you know what? I'm being ridiculed for records that y'all love. Put it on me, always on time. I'm real, ain't it funny? There's a slew of records that y'all loved, partied to, danced to, couldn't get enough of. They were #1 records on the Billboard Top 200 charts. So now because 50 says Ja's not gangster, the public Says, oh yeah, 50 must be right. Ja ain't gangster. He's making big records for the women and stuff like that. So it handcuffed me. And then now when I come back with these records that the public have been begging me for, now it's a whole different situation. Like it's like the light is on, and they're saying, "Oh, Ja's not what 50 says he is." We knew Ja wasn't like that, but they want it so bad that it's hard for me not to give it to him because I want to give it to him because I haven't had a chance to express myself through song and lyric, and he's been expressing himself through song and lyric. So the public issue is the biggest issue of all. Like I got backlash for a record that I did called The Rain. Went on 106 in Park, debuted it. Kids got on, gave their opinion. I don't like it. He's singing too much. He's doing too many R&B. Ja needs to get back to just rhyming like he used to. But why? When y'all enjoyed everything I did, loved everything I did, and I do it well. You know what I mean? Like, I just wrote Ruben Studdard's first single for his first album. I wrote I'm Real. I wrote Rainy Days from Mary J. Blige. Like, I don't just do hip-hop records. Like, I can do other things. But sometimes the public, they don't let you go out and try to reach your full potential. They want you to stay hood.
Okay. Now, Ja, there's several lessons in what I'm hearing. Either we follow the public or we lead and teach the public. The public has an appetite for the beef. They love it. Mm-hmm. Now we have to get them to have an appetite for something that's better than the destruction of one another. Now what I failed to say earlier, Ja, is what I see coming. As you may know, I literally said what President Bush was going to do before he did it. God showed me into that man's thinking. But it isn't just a war overseas, Ja. There's a war being planned against black youth and Hispanic youth in particular because of the nature of what is going on inside the streets of America. Now, the danger here, all of the young men that I saw on that beef, you have guns now. Everybody has a posse. All the posses are armed. We don't make no arms, but arms are in the black community. Mm-hmm. We don't grow no drugs, but the drugs permeate the black community. And when hip-hop says that we are thugs, we come up out of the street, and now we've learned to rap, which is a tremendous art form, but the thug that's in us, now the enemy of all of us is watching. So now a war is about to come down on the hip-hop community. This is what God has allowed me to see. The government has started now investigating Irv Gotti and Murder Inc. It ain't stopping there. They want to see if they can link you to that which allows them to use their court system against the leadership to wipe that out. But that ain't it. After they knock off the head, then they got to deal with the youth that's in the street that have these guns and are a macho, this kind of mentality that is like, I'll kill you.
Right.
And you seen the brother on the